My parents signed me up and they told me I just loved it so much that it was every year like, what do you want to play? And it was like soccer. I absolutely loved it. It was never a question of what I wanted to do when it was soccer signups. Adjust, yes, fix it, yes. It should look like this. First touch goes forward, cut, strike with the left foot. So when I was in high school, I had 6-period PE. Signed up for the soccer course, and it was very much so male dominated. And I used to that was the class I looked forward to all day. And that's actually how I met OT, my husband.
Yeah, soccer's been a big part of our lives. That was always our connection from the day we met, was soccer and how passionate we both were about it. We started off as friends and that's what we did together. We played soccer.
Do you guys want to go to goal today?
Yeah.
The usual answer. Oh! Here we go. Good job. Yes! Come on. Oh! Good job today. I was going with Sky Blue to a preseason trip to Japan that following year, and the league folded. We got an email that said basically the trip's already been planned to Japan, so would you still like to go? And at the time I'm like, heck yeah. And I got there and I remember being on the field and looking around and thinking that I have never seen a women's team play like this before. The movement was ridiculous. The understanding of the game was so good. The tactical awareness was amazing. I was so excited. You know, I went back and immediately Skyped home and was talking to my parents and OT about the experience, and I get a knock on my hotel door. And they're like, we're offering contracts to stay for a year and you have a week to decide. I was like, oh my gosh, a full year of being in a foreign country.
She called me and was like, hey, this is, what they offered. I was like, she goes, to be honest, this team is like the female Barcelona. That's the way they play, that's their style.
And I said, I have an opportunity to play for a women's team that I've never seen play this style of soccer.
And she debated about it, but in the end, she said, I'm not gonna go without you. So within 7 days, got married and took off to Japan.
Bev, who are you?
Watashi wa Chiaki desu.
Watashi wa Beverly Yanez.
Ego onegaishimasu.
I am Beverly.
He knew how much it meant to me. It allowed me to pursue who I was. I became a completely different soccer player. It was a turning point in my career that I needed desperately. And because he supported that, I was able to pursue it. I went to Japan as a center mid. So in college and growing up in the club scene, I was a center mid. So next practice we all show up and they look at me and the coach says, can you play center forward? Well, can I? Yes. Will I be good at it? Probably not. Never played there in my entire career. But I will play anywhere. I'll play anywhere where a coach sees that I am a good fit, then I'll figure it out. So the first few weeks was difficult because I didn't understand it. And the team was so patient with me and so kind. And after every single practice, they pulled out the whiteboard, the girls on the team pulled out the whiteboard and said, when the ball's here, this is what you do. This is your most important role. You have to keep it to one side. And they broke down the game for me and they explained it to me and they took the time to invest in me as a teammate. And I'll never forget that because that was my turning point. And I'm gonna work my butt off for this team because they are invested in me and I'm going to be invested in myself. And so I studied the game like you wouldn't believe. I watched game after game after game. They sat with me after practice, every practice. And the second year I went back, I was like, okay, it's getting a little bit more, and I stayed in that role. I had more success the second year and I credit that a lot to the team and to having a more positive outlook. then I felt, ready to come back to the States. I was missing family a lot. My agent called me and I said, I'm really excited to get back and start playing, center mid again. He's like, you're no longer a center mid. I said, what? And so I came back to the States in the brand new league as a forward. I got here and I felt like my game had grown immensely. I got here and I understood if I wanted the ball in a certain space, I had to get out of that space, create it, to then get in, to then receive the ball. My tactical awareness was on a completely different level. And for the first time in my career, I felt like I understood the game.
Hello everybody, Joe Fenn here with another fresh face of Seattle Reign FC. I'm with forward Bev, go Bev. Thanks so much for joining us, and again, welcome to Seattle.
Thank you for having me. It's been a joy to be here so far. First time in the Northwest, and I've enjoyed every minute of it so far. It's a little rainy, but I don't mind it at all. I think it's a beautiful city, and I'm having a ton of fun.
And I felt like it was an opportunity to mix growing up in the U.S. soccer system, learning what I learned for 2 years in Japan, and mixing the two, and continuing to learn from a coach like Laura. I mean, she's impeccable. Her understanding of the game is amazing. And I knew that was going to continue to accentuate what I had learned. And so I'm just so thankful to be a part of a club like this and the way that they do things here.
Hitting the brakes, left-footed ball in. Yanez! Her first touch, and it's a 1-0 lead!
It's allowed me to meet the most amazing people. It's allowed me to travel the world. It has brought so many things to my life, and I know when that day comes to hang those boots up, yes, I'm hanging up the boots, but I'm not ever hanging up the spirit I developed from the game.